This coming Thursday night, we continue our season-long series of chamber music recitals featuring members of our orchestra. And the programs are tailored to be something relating to the program of that week. Right. So this week, with our wonderful guest conductor, Roberto Abbado, we're playing a piece of Boccherini that was arranged for modern orchestra by the modern Italian composer Luciano Berio, in addition to the Mendelssohn Italian Symphony and the Roman Carnival Overture and a Paganini violin concerto. It's a real Italian journey. Justin, you've played a lot of chamber music, and you've played in these chamber music recitals before, and you came up with an idea that is fascinating. Explain it to us, would you?
Well, what we will be performing is a cello quintet by Boccherini. In between the movements of that quintet, I'm arranging for that ensemble movements from Berio's 34 duets for two violins for that entire ensemble. Originally, I approached Christina Smith, who is the chair of the artistic committee, about doing some of the duos. I wasn't sure if there was a lot of time on the recital, and I know they're very interesting and special and off the beaten path, and it would be a great way to showcase one of the composers on this symphony program. Mm-hmm. When I found out that they needed more time, I also remembered how much I love that Boccherini quintet and thought it would be an interesting way to fuse what Berio does with Boccherini on a different scale. By arranging those the duets for the quintet, we're able to use more players and more of the chamber music time.
So to put this in context, on the symphony program,
mm-hmm.
we have this wonderful Ritratta di Madrid, which is this fantastic oral game of a procession of night watchmen, as it were, coming into the scene and processing out of the scene. And Berio took Boccherini's original and arranged it for modern orchestra. So you're paying homage to this whole sort of stolen goods thing by inserting Berio into Boccherini.
Yes. And the fun thing about using 5 players instead of 2 for pieces that were originally meant for 2 mm-hmm. is that as I'm transcribing these things, I'm finding ways to sonically experiment and play with Berio's material the way he did in
the Boccherini.
The Boccherini.
You play a lot of chamber music.
Mm-hmm.
What's so joyous about it for you?
What I love about chamber music, in addition to playing symphonic repertoire most of my time, is the ability to show more nuance and more colors, and because each person has an individual part. And the listeners get to hear more of those details from individual players. I feel like inside of an orchestra, I am playing music, chamber music, a lot of the time. I'm always listening to my colleagues. I'm always trying to react to things that are happening around me and with my section and with my sound partner. So it's just a heightened way to do what I do in the symphony inside of a chamber music group.
And this particular series, featuring members of our
mm-hmm.
orchestra, Thursday evenings at 6:45 before selected symphony concerts, and this coming Thursday is one of them, is also a chance for people whom you normally would not hear in a more soloistic capacity having a chance to shine.
Correct.
Yeah. What is it about your generation of violinists in particular that you are so versatile now? You know, it used to be 20 years ago to find someone who could play in a proper Baroque style, mm-hmm. you'd have to go to a specialist. But now it seems like so many men and women of your generation are equally at home playing in what I affectionately call the vegetarian style, as opposed to the right. full-blooded, the full-blooded carnivorous, Brahms and Beethoven.
Right.
Is it just because of the way teaching has changed or the world around us?
What I notice in looking back about my education is that in addition to feeling very inquisitive, our opportunities to explore Baroque music, contemporary music, are almost built into curriculum, at least where I was. Mm-hmm. And And those experiences were very much encouraged by our professors and mentors. I think it's important as a modern day player to be able to transition easily between genres and periods of performance, because I think it's good for our playing, but it's also good for our livelihood and good for our audiences.
My last question.
Okay.
So we have two blonde men sitting at the front of the violin section. Did you grow the beard so people wouldn't call you David Couchron by accident?
Subconsciously.
Thank you.
Thank you.